Hi everyone, my name is Tamar Ilana, and I'm super excited about today's interview. It is with my dear friend Corrine, who lives in Nelson, BC, and she is a flamenco dancer and teacher. Hola a todos. Hi everyone. I'm just saying who I'm interviewing today. I'm interviewing Corrine, and she's an incredible person and flamenco dancer and teacher, and also one of the co-founders of a massive music festival called Shambhala Music Festival. If you haven't heard of it, go check it out because it's totally insane. It's in the middle of the mountains in Nelson, BC. And oh, there she is. And when she comes on, I'll tell you the story of how I met her because it's also really super beautiful. So welcome, Corrine. Corrine, I'm just going to find you here to get you to join. Hi, everyone. Oh, thank you. There you are. Lee Allen. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm just bringing Corrine on and centering myself. There we go. So for those of you that's just joining, this is...
Yay!
Oh,
Okay.
yeah!
Hi, how you doing?
Better now that I see you. I know. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm really awesome. I'm
Awesome.
sitting, this is my water view.
Oh, beautiful.
But yeah,
This
I
is
thought I would sit here
my
remembering BC in
studio.
the water. Oh, I miss your studio.
Yeah.
What's up, Corrine? I was just
Sweet.
doing your little intro here. So for those of
Yeah.
you who don't know Corrine, although I don't know how you can't know Corrine, just saying. So we met her last year. I kind of want to tell people in a bit how we met because it's totally
Yeah.
cool. But Corrine is a flamenco dancer. That's how I first met her. Dancer, teacher, ballet also. She has a school of dance. We're going to get into all of this. She is an events consultant and she produced one of the biggest festivals in Canada. I want to say in the world, but I don't know about that. Called Shambhala Music Festival in Nelson, BC for I think 17 years.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
That's crazy. And
I know.
also co-founded it on her massive farm, beautiful place.
Yeah.
And oh my God, there's so many things. But first, let's just say hi, Corrine. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm
What are you
doing
up to
pretty.
today? I know it's like 9 a.m. over there, right?
Yeah, it's 9 a.m. Yeah, I don't, it's my sister's birthday this coming weekend, so I've got a couple events we're planning and
Yeah.
yeah, doing some consulting and some practice and just a little bit of everything today. Yeah.
Good. Sounds like a good day. Sounds like a good day in
Yeah.
Nelson.
It's a
And
beautiful
is it
day now.
spring
So
there
it's
yet?
windy and cold
Oh.
though. It's like I can't wait for summer. Yeah, whatever.
Toronto's up and down. I feel like it might snow tomorrow because of the prairie storm.
Oh gosh,
But
yeah.
you never know here. But right now it's pretty good. It's nice and sunny and
It's
happy.
gorgeous.
That's why I
Yeah,
wore yellow. I'm like, it's sun.
awesome. I wore my
But
sister's earrings that she made.
oh my God, beautiful.
I know, she's so talented.
She is. She's the best. So
Yes.
I kind of want to tell those watching how we met, the brief
Yeah.
version. Because Ali and I were on a cross country trip last year. We decided in the middle of the pandemic to drive across the country because it seemed like the right thing to do in the moment.
Great idea.
And we spent 3 months doing that. And then along the way, I had a long-standing project that is still in the works.
Oh,
So for
great.
the flamencos watching, this is for you. To film, well, to record a flamenco album featuring flamenco artists all across the country. But last year that manifested itself in filming flamenco artists in the snow in the midst of the pandemic. And, with Ali's big support and encouragement, because I was like, oh, it's going to be too crazy, can't do it. And he's like, no, that sounds like the best. So we started reaching out to flamencos, mostly flamencas, gotta say, anywhere we possibly could across the country, starting in Thunder Bay and then the prairies. And then, long story short, we were in Radisson Hot Springs, and this girl in the Springs was like telling us all about Nelson. She's like, I want to go there. I want to die there. I want to. We're like, you could live there. This is a longer intro than I normally do, but I feel like it's worth it for context. But
And she's like, I want to die in Nelson. Like, I'm dying to go there. She was like 18 or something. She's like, I hear that they like hide drugs in a cave for everybody. And I hear that there's like no police there because the indigenous don't allow police in Nelson, like in 30-kilometer radius. She had all these
Jeez,
crazy stories.
oh
And we're like, all right, let's go tomorrow to Nelson. And we went to
yeah.
Nelson. We met this guy, Luke, at this cafe. And he was like, oh, I dated somebody in Toronto. And so we called her. It was Steph. And she's like, if you're in Nelson, you need to know my dancing friend who's a contemporary dancer there. She came for drinks. And then we were like, listen, we're looking for flamenco dancers across the country, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I know one. She dances by the water in a blue dress. I think she's my new best friend. Who is this person? And then remember we texted you, and then I'm going to ask your point of view, because we texted you, and I was like, can you meet us tomorrow at noon with your blue dress by the water? And you're like, yeah, see you there.
Yeah, of course
I want to know from your point of view, what did you thinking when you received that text?
Oh my gosh, I was thrilled. I was like, what do you mean? There's another flamenco, there's a singer, there's all this stuff. I was like, oh, they came to me. Like, I'm the only flamenco teacher within 8-hour drive. So it's, it's kind of crazy that you guys
You're
just
a rare
landed on my lap. I'm a rare bird for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, it was amazing. And you and I hit it off right away. It was like I'd known you my whole life. It was just like, oh my gosh, we gotta, yeah. And then we had that beautiful piece that we did on the water with my bara. And then, I took you out to the farm and we did some dancing out in the snow. We had snowshoed out to the festival grounds.
I almost sank for sure.
Yeah. So fun. Yeah, we've been friends ever since, haven't we?
Aww.
Yeah, you're part of my tribe.
Yeah, oh for sure. And we didn't even know you guys were part of the festival. You're like, oh yeah, you like our farm, like we produce it, like have this like festival sometimes on this like land, and we're like, Festival Nelson Shambhala. You're like, oh yeah, when I was a kid I like started it. Like, whatever, Corrine. So chill. You and Anna, those are the best, the queens.
Yeah, my sister Anna. So much fun.
So I would love to like go to that, like that. I kind of want to go through like when you started that festival, what brought you to start that, and then like to what you're doing today, just to give like a lay of the land for what we're gonna talk about. Sure. So let's get right into it. Like why on earth and how on earth and who on earth started that festival?
How did it go anyway? Yeah, we I've always been really involved in arts and culture. Even when I was younger, I started teaching dance when I was like 16 years old. So and when we first moved to Nelson, my family were like, we're selling our farm in the Okanagan and we're moving to Salmo, BC. And it's like, where the hell is Salmo? I don't want to move to Salmo, like in the middle of nowhere. But we ended up out here and we started doing small events, one-night shows. We get a DJ, we did some dinner parties. We did like a Please Charleston Quietly, which was like a 1920s speakeasy themed dinner evening. Cool. Yeah, we were just doing fun, cool little things. Like.
And how old were you? Like around 16, 17?
By that time, 19, 20. And then when we were, just go for it. And then I had been touring up and down the West Coast and ended up in Texas at this giant folk festival, 3-week-long folk festival on this 1,000-acre ranch. And I was like, holy crap, this is so interesting. Like, what a beautiful venue. And I came home and I'm like talking to my brother and he's like, let's do a 3-day event. And I'm like, you're crazy. He's like, we have the beautiful location. We have, we've been doing small shows. Why not? And I'm like, more money, more like, how do we get all the people to, staff everything and how are we going to do it? And he's like, let's just do it. So yeah,
that's the only way to do it. Let's just do it.
Just go
that's the only way.
And I think he was like, he was 17 at the time. So bands were really big and a lot of our friends have been DJing and kind of been into a DJ scene. And we're like, yeah, let's just try it. So, we did our first event and we had like 600 to 800 people. We were thrilled. We were like, oh my gosh.
What year was that?
So
how long has Shambhala been going on? Like 25 years?
That was 1998, I believe, or 97. I'm so bad at
Wow.
dates. Somebody can correct me.
Whatever. Ish. Ish. Yeah, if there's
I'm
any
getting
hardcore
old now. It's
Shambhala
all...
fans, you can tell us.
So yeah, we did the first one, and we called it Shambhala because we thought, what a beautiful thing. Like, the story of Shambhala is the heart of the warrior, and the warrior of the good fight, which is like, you don't fight with violence, you fight with love. And we're like, it's this huge
Everybody
mythical
could learn that
place.
right now.
Yeah. And it's this mythical place surrounded by mountains, which our farm is. And it just seemed to fit. And it was the place of technology. And we're like, oh man, what a cool thing. Like, marry technology in with the rawness of the farm. At that time, we had no
That's
power on the
cool.
farm, no running water. Like, and then it just kept growing. The second year, it was 1,200 people. And then we hit
Dude.
2,400. And then,
Oh my God.
yeah, before you knew it, I wasn't teaching or dancing very much. It was full-time Shambhala. And
Yeah, it can
yeah,
take
we
over. It can for
it
sure take
totally took
over.
over. Yeah, I mean, 20,000 people at the last show. It's become much larger than we imagined. Well, I think my brother
Totally
always
nuts.
had the vision, actually. My brother Jimmy, he was like,
Right.
one day we're going to have 10,000 people out here. Like,
Oh,
in
man.
Salmo?
Yeah, that's crazy.
In the
Because it's
middle
not
of
even in
nowhere?
Nelson. It's like outside of Nelson, which is already small. Oh yeah, here's
Yeah.
Ali found our magnet that we got at Nelson. This is
Oh, nice.
this is
Oh, so
Nelson.
pretty. So
That's
quaint.
it. So it's not even Nelson, it's outside. I think that's your house right up there.
Yeah, I think so too. You're right.
Not
I
to
can
tell
see the
everyone where
lake
you
from
live.
where I
But, yeah.
am.
But it's Selma, which is like even smaller little town outside. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
And like I guess my question is like how did you do that? Like how did you build it with nothing? Because to my knowledge, you don't have any sponsors. Even to this day, they don't have any sponsors or anything, right?
No.
Like how did you do that? That's like the greatest inspiration for me.
Well, at the time, there was nothing really that fit. Like, I had looked at the Canada Council grants and looked at, we were really young and unproven
Right.
as well. So we looked at grants and we looked at all of that. And then we thought, we can do this off of ticket sales. We can run this just as a business. And
Right.
based on ticket sales and the income coming in, we have full control. We have control of our message, whatever message we want to
Right.
tell. We don't have to put up banners at the stages. We can build art. Like, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
that kind of control or influence is gone, and there's a lot of freedom in that. So yeah, we just kept working within our budget and making it work. Like, we're farmers
Smartest
too,
word.
so
Oh, I just realized that's the thing. You're farmers.
it's like to
Like a
build and
totally
develop the
different
land.
mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was always like,
Right.
oh, do something with the ranch, get into some kind of farming or whatever. And we're like, that doesn't sound like very much fun.
You're like,
Build
but we could throw
those
the craziest
businesses.
festival in the country.
Yeah. And because
Oh
we
my
were
God.
pioneers and working with the land and just working with local artists,
Right.
we're just able to foster that development of place,
Right.
which I think became really important to
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
development of the festival.
I would love to know like what's like both the hardest thing that you like had to do as a producer for the festival and like what's the best thing that ever happened to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
That
hardest.
you want to
Oh,
talk
there's so
about. That
many
you want to
things
talk
as far
about.
as the hardest
You
goes.
can drop a couple. You can drop. I love that they're hardest when it's easy to
I
think of
remember
what's
the
best.
day we decided we needed a parking team. I was working in my little office and all the cars were coming in. We hadn't had a sold out show by that time. And I was done with my work and I went to this little lookout tower and I'm looking at the field, the farm field, which had never been full before, never had roads or anything. And I was like, it was jammed. Nobody could move. we had to clear the road. We had no tow truck. We had to use a tractor. It was just like, it was chaos. It was like, okay, that was a big challenge. Those kind of big moves when you realize, oh my
Wow.
gosh, we're behind the 8 ball. We have masses of people.
What did you
Yeah.
do?
We cleared out all of the fire lanes with a tractor and a dump truck. And the
It's
next
hard
year we
work.
started a parking team. We surveyed the whole land, came up with a
Wow.
parking plan, soil
Wow.
mitigation plan for the ranch.
Wow.
Yeah, that's maybe, there's been a lot more difficult things. Yeah, some really intense stuff has happened out at the farm, but
I can imagine. That's a lot of people. Yeah,
yeah.
Leah's like amazing. Oh, you know
Amazing.
Leah too. It is pretty wild. Leah produces our Fab Collab's biggest show called Women in Song. And
Right.
like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, but we haven't had to take a tractor out yet and clear the land. Alia, imagine you had to do that. Actually, while we're on that topic of producer, because I got asked recently, like, what does it mean to be a producer? I don't want to ask you that. Like, what does it mean to be a festival producer or an event producer?
Right. Yeah, for me, it was always trying to make sure that the delegation happened and a communication plan happens, because you
Mm-hmm,
scale
mm-hmm,
up and you scale down so rapidly, right? You have a great
mm-hmm,
idea with a bunch of friends, and all of a sudden you have to implement it.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
my thing was always make sure everyone's totally covered. You have extra people, you have extra resources. And
Mm-hmm,
then I thought, when I'm doing a really great job, all I'm doing is wandering around the festival site and touching base with all the key people and key locations. And when something's happening, being there to
mm-hmm.
observe and help support the people that are there. That's
So like knowing everything.
pretty much.
Yeah. And Stacy just joined, who's also a beautiful
Well, you only have
Natasha
one chance to
producer.
adjudicate your own event and decide what you're going
Right.
to do for the next year and solve problems in the moment. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when the gates open, that's where I am. So, not to lock yourself into any one
That's such
job,
a
but
beautiful quote. When the
mm.
gates open, that's where I am. I love it. Oh, that's like for life,
One of my
Corrine.
favorite. I mean, there's been a couple other things. There's been some major things. We had to work with the nationwide RCMP for a manhunt on the festival grounds.
Whoa.
So that was really interesting and
Whoa.
challenging. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, there's been a bunch of different things. Windstorms, all canceled flights. I don't know.
Fires, I imagine, BC.
Forest fire. We had a forest fire that wasn't far from our place and considered mass evacuation. So a lot of health and
Holy.
safety stuff that people probably aren't even aware of that goes on. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that means you're doing an amazing job if they're not aware of it.
yeah, right. Well,
As a miracle. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my
For those of you just
favorite
joining, I
thing.
just want to say,
Oh
sorry, Corrine,
yeah,
I just want to say, because there's new people joining, and I want to say we're talking to
sure.
Corrine. She's in Nelson, BC right now. She's a flamenco dancer and teacher and event consultant, and was the producer and co-founder of Shambhala Music Festival for many, 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 many years.
Yes.
And so we're really lucky to talk to her here. And I'm really happy to see you, I have to
Yeah,
add.
you do. I know. I got to come visit. We got
Yes,
to do
please.
this in
You have a
person.
room here, you know that. You're
Awesome.
welcome any hour of any day.
This summer, I'm gonna make it.
Me too. I'm gonna come this summer. The week
I know. I
before,
can't
I
wait.
know.
We're so excited to have you.
It's gonna
We're
be so
planning for
awesome.
your arrival. So
Very
yeah.
excited. Okay, so what were you gonna say? Your favorite thing? Yeah, your
My
favorite thing about the
favorite thing.
festival.
This wasn't anything we announced to the public. We just came up with the idea, and we're like, okay, we're gonna try it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it'll work. We had a hot air balloon that year. Beautiful hot air balloon, multicolored. And we were just doing tethered rides up so you could see the festival grounds. So in the middle of the night,
Cool.
we bought a 6-foot disco ball.
Why not?
And then we put it in the balloon at night and we dropped it over the basket, and we had a 40-watt YAG laser, and we targeted the laser for the up at the hot air balloon at the disco ball. And then the guy in the hot air balloon was like twirling the disco ball, and we were able, it was cloudy but patchy clouds, so we had disco ball lights all over the mountains.
People must have
Laser.
gone wild in the middle of the
People
night
were
as a
freaking
surprise.
out. They were like, oh my god.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I
I
want to
was
tell
like
you.
doing
Oh, go
that.
ahead. No,
I
you
was
go.
like
You
doing
go.
that, those fun surprises at the show that you just wouldn't expect. Like
What's another
that
fun surprise you've done?
experience. Pardon?
What's another fun surprise you've done?
We had an airplane on the stage, and we actually were able to lift it up during one of the
No,
main
no.
sets.
Were you
Nobody
dancing
thought it was
flamenco on it?
actually. Pardon?
Flamenco on the airplane?
Well, no, I did not. But it is a tradition of mine to do flamenco in the shadow screens at least
Yeah.
once during the
Oh my
festival, no
God.
matter what. That's
So cool. That's why you're my hero. Like, oh, the production is cool, tractor trailer cool, but dancing flamenco in the
yeah.
shadow screens at an electronic festival, hero.
It was so fun. Yeah, this last summer we did a couple little shows, and I just danced for them to electronic music. It was so fun.
That's
Yeah,
so
and they want to
cool.
do more. The DJs want to do some more collaborations. So
As you should, as you should, because Well, I also want to like just before we move onwards, but I just want to say
Sure.
like you gave me an image of you at the festival that has totally stuck in my mind that I would just want to like pass on to other people. Like
Yeah.
just Corrine like dirt biking, like riding through the festival, like and her sister like as the queens of the festival, but nobody knows really that it's you like who's behind the scenes doing everything, and you're just like like just going
Yeah.
through the festival, and that's just stuck in my. That's how I see you.
Well, that's funny because we do that sometimes. We'll take the motorbike and kind of herd people too. We'll like go in circles around a group of people. They'll
So
forget. They're
funny.
like, "How are you doing this?" It's like, "Oh, it's mom and dad's farm."
Right, right. And how, oh yeah, and what do your parents think of this whole festival? I know I met them, but
Yeah, I mean, they're
I
pretty
love
old
them.
school farmers, right? They're not exactly. I don't think my dad would ever put on a pair of raver pants and some.
Oh my God.
They're really proud of us. They still are. They
Yeah,
always encourage us to be entrepreneurial, and
nice. I
I
think you
don't
did
think we
it.
really understood the festival when we first started. But I
Mm.
remember my dad. I think it was like year 3 or year 4. I'm down at the festival grounds with him because he'd come and check it out, and he's looking around and he's like, Corrine, I get it. I understand. And he's a big, burly man, right? Like he's big, old school farmer. And he goes around and he starts hugging people. And at first you could
Oh.
see these people were scared.
You're like, no, 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 it's my dad. This is his farm. Actually, we organized this, but never mind. Yeah. He just needs
So,
that free hug sign on him and everyone will understand.
so yeah, pretty cute.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really
so we're
beautiful.
done.
That's a really
Yeah,
beautiful story. It like affected his,
yeah,
way of being.
for sure. And I
Wow,
mean,
came
a
full
lot of
circle.
his ethos of like be good to each other and everything from the festival comes from dad, really, my family and my dad.
Mm.
So yeah,
Shout out
we're
to
always,
dad and
we
mom.
have the biggest sponsor actually. It's our mom and our dad.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
that's
our
all you need.
toughest critic.
Yeah, yeah, and the land in kind.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's wild. I mean, like, and for people to understand, like, it's an actually functioning farm. Like, there's animals
Mhm.
and stuff, right? Like, throughout the rest of
Yeah.
the year. This is what shocked me a lot, too. It's like, yeah, there's a
Mhm.
festival, but then the rest of the year, it's just like, your parents living on the land and,
Yeah.
running the farm.
Yeah. Yeah. Dad's got cattle and he's got a
Yeah.
little wood mill. He's 74 now, but he's still working the farm and
Wow.
yeah, loving it. He
And
wouldn't be
that
anywhere
shows
else.
like
So
what kind of people I think like, are really behind. It's not like some corporation, coming in and making a ton of money. It's like real
yeah.
people who live on the land and like,
Yeah.
doing it for kind of what I think are the right reasons anyway.
Well, it's really easy when you've got that kind of community and that kind of
Hmm.
feel to build something special too,
Hmm.
without having to accommodate for other points of view, like a
Nice.
corporate
True. True.
sponsorship or
I love
yeah,
it.
the messaging all of a sudden becomes different, and it's not about buying; it's about experiencing. That's
Ole. Oh, I love it. So you did it you produced the festival for 17 years and sort of why did you stop doing that and what did you stop doing it for? What happened in that
yeah,
turning point?
yeah. It was a stressful job. It was.
No shit.
Yeah, yeah, it was a stressful job, and being in charge of it for so long, it was really intense. So, I was feeling some effects from stress, and
Yeah.
I was like, it's time to step away and just kind of do my own thing. And I really wanted to
Mm,
dive back into that artistic realm again. And
yeah.
I thought if not now, when can I work on my training for flamenco? And, it's a very important part of who I am. And I
Mm-hmm.
was getting pretty far away from it. So,
Mm.
yeah, so I had to make some lifestyle changes. And I thought, yeah, let's open a dance studio, study flamenco and teach and go live that dream for a while. Ole.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
Love it. It's so
Yeah,
awesome. And your
yeah.
dance schools in Nelson, tell us a bit about it. What's it called? And,
Miss
tell
Corrine
us.
School of Dance. I've got training as a teacher in flamenco and in ballet, more extensively in ballet. And yeah, I started, I guess, 8 years ago now.
That's
And
amazing.
developed, yeah, I had some kids classes. I haven't been running since November of 2020. I shut down the studio.
Understandable.
Yeah, I shut down the studio in
Mm.
March. Did a little stint when things opened up. and
Yeah.
then just decided time to refocus again. So my intention is to open up the school again in
Wow.
September, but
And you're in your studio now. Can we get a
I
little
am. Yes,
behind the
here we
scenes
go.
peek of the studio?
My little chalkboard.
I love it.
I
And
actually
there's a
have some
wall of
furniture.
mirrors.
Yeah, I've taken down a couple and put in some furniture, but
Oh wow. Oh
they
wow.
will go
Furniture.
back in September.
Nice. This is for Allison, a flamenco dancer here, just joined. We're talking with Corrine, and she's showing us a little,
Hello.
her
Yes,
home studio, her
resilience.
home flamenco
Yeah.
studio. She's the
Yeah.
only flamenco dancer in Nelson, and within 8 hours. Just saying,
Yes.
for the flamencos on here. Meet her, get in touch. If you're at Nelson, find
There you
Corrine.
go. Yeah. I want to meet you. If you come to Nelson, drop me a ring. I'm very accommodating, right, Tamar?
Oh yeah, as accommodating as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were
So
doing shows and bringing in other teachers because, flamenco is so vast. There's so much to learn. And yeah, I have still such a long journey to go. So I love bringing in other people, getting other instructors, really fostering. And Leah, we watched Leah dance a few times in that troupe, and Deborah. It was awesome. It was
nice.
awesome to be able to foster all of that. And I'm hoping we can do more as things open up too. So yeah, I'll get back in it again. But
Everyone's loving your studio, your home studio. Leah's jealous.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a cork floor. It's like a 500 square foot space in my home.
No, it's
It
like
was
amazing. You can
previously an
even do
art
manton.
studio.
You can do manton and bata in there, man. It's wild.
Totally.
It's wild.
Yeah, yeah.
So cool.
So fun.
You're an idol. We're all gonna do that. Okay, so what happened when you closed the studio? Like not forever, but paused the studio.
Yeah.
You said to
I
refocus. Yeah.
I started doing some flamenco videos. I guess that's how I got the girl dancing with the blue dress in the water, because I thought we could bust some
Oh
joy into
yeah,
this whole COVID thing. So I would go
definitely.
outside and just perform. And my sister would like grab some shots and we'd post it
Love
up,
it.
just thinking, why not? So I was doing a bunch of that, and then I actually dipped into a little film work. I also worked in
Tell us
film.
about that.
Yeah, I worked in the film industry when we started Shambhala.
Ah,
And we produced a couple documentaries with the festival. So I have some of those sorts of skills as well. And my friend, he was like, I'm in Maui. I'm making an animated film about dolphins. I need some admin assistance for 2 months. You want to come to Maui? And I'm like,
wow.
yeah.
Like
Let's
in the
go.
pandemic too. You're like,
Yeah, and there's this little tiny island called Lanai off of the Maui main coast. And 2,000 people there. I felt really safe, and it was
wow.
beautiful. So I ended up staying a little longer. I got involved with another film about sailing and did some more admin work for that, and ended up 2 more months in Maui, which was awesome, especially in the pandemic. I feel even like, oh, I shouldn't say it out loud.
It's okay. We support your happiness, Corrine. We support your
Yeah.
happiness.
And then,
Yeah.
as I was meeting some of the filmmakers and some of the artistic people in Maui, people are like, why aren't you consulting? And I'm like, well,
Oh.
yeah, I've thought about it a lot in the past. And I thought, yeah, with COVID starting to lessen and events happening, festivals, everything from film fests and some of the production work that I'm doing, I can consult with that as well as festivals and events.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to school. I'm going to get my master's of global management and start a consulting business.
Wait,
And
I didn't know
teach.
this. Wait,
I
what?
know.
Hold on. Rewind.
I know.
You're going back to school to say that again? To
I'm
get
going to take my master's of global management.
what is global management?
So there's an MBA, right? Master's of Business Admin. I don't have a bachelor degree, but because of my experience, I can.
You have like 10 bachelor degrees with your experience.
So they said I can start with a master's degree. So
congrats.
I'd like to consult globally. So with all my connections, there's a lot of people that are working around the world right now. So I thought, like, let's, brush up on the education and get back in the saddle and try to marry both my artistic life and my production life together. I'm going to try.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
global
You can do it.
management is kind of like an MBA, but with a global slant. So
Mm.
not just marketing, but marketing to a global world. Not just economics, but how do you manage
Oh my
economics
God.
globally? And
Wait, can
yeah,
I consult
which
with
school?
you?
I know. Royal Roads University. It's a blended program. So I'll be doing
Where's
2 weeks
that?
in Victoria, BC.
Got it.
I'll be doing 2 weeks residency there and 2 weeks internationally. So yeah, so I'm
Wow.
excited about
Where
that.
internationally? Do you know?
I don't know yet. It'll be the summer of 2023. So yeah, we'll see.
So exciting,
I know. And
Corrine.
then I'm like, how do I? And then I thought, oh, maybe I should get an internship to complete the program in Spain for a flamenco festival, maybe,
Now
and
you're
do some
talking.
trip,
Now you're
right?
talking. The flamenco, the Jerez Flamenco Festival.
There you
That's the
go. That's what
one.
I'll do my
Or the
internship.
Biennale in Seville. Oh my God.
Thanks
And
so much,
anyone else
Mark.
who
I
has
just love
ideas, drop it. Oh
yeah.
yeah, Mark.
Why not?
You're like, I don't know how to marry my art and production, except for I could just do this exact awesome thing.
Right?
Like, I think you figured it out. I think you're
I think
good.
so. We'll see. It's still a work in progress, but
That's incredible. So, what kind
yeah.
of events, like, what do you think will like call or are already calling you? Like, what kind of
Yeah, I already have
consulting?
I'm working with a film studio right now down in Vancouver.
Hmm.
They have yeah, there's a bunch of regulations changing, so I'm helping advise between government, Creative BC and township and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Just a little project.
Things you don't think about, like
Yeah.
when you just want to do the fun stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
And then there's another event, the Unicorn Cup. This is interesting. I never even thought of this before, but with legalization of marijuana, there's a
hmm
lot more events that are starting to pop up for marketing purposes.
oh,
So there's been a couple people that have reached out to me asking for consultation there. Not
hmm
something I would, from a music festival background in arts, but an event is an event. A
yeah,
customer experience is a customer experience. So
totally.
yeah,
When the
I'm
gate
down with
opens,
that.
you're there.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, and then I have a bunch of contacts and meetings this summer, so we'll see. I think
Wow.
I might be really busy.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised at all. That's super exciting. Congrats on that
thank you
shift.
so much.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah,
And I also read in your bio, believe it or not,
yeah.
that you're starting something else, like an all women festival and
Oh,
event.
well,
Tell,
this is the
what is that?
consulting. Actually, when you
Okay,
said
got
you
it.
want to join my team, that's actually what I have in mind is doing all
Oh
female
man.
consulting team because some of the most powerful women I've known in the industry are just kick ass. And I just want to see a team of like brilliant women, brilliant, talented women descending on an event and
Descending on an event.
yes, giving their best practice advice. So.
Oh my God, Leah and I just worked with a team of all women. There was about 8 of us to produce like a massive fundraiser a month ago for Ukraine, and it was
Yes,
like an all-women team.
congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah,
And it was like really smooth. Like, it's like, can anyone do this? Yep, got it. How about this? Yep, done. Got it. Now,
yeah,
next, yep, done. Done. It was like 2 meetings of like an hour each, and then like the whole festival was like done. It was crazy. We raised
amazing.
35,000, sold like 800 tickets. There was 60 artists on stage. It was crazy.
That's
So it's like
amazing.
I'm with you. Yes. I'm with you. And I'm here to help. I mean, you have so much experience, but I'm here to help her in any
Yeah,
way.
for
And Fab
sure.
Club is here to help in any way. Leah and I are both her big supporters. So,
That's
and
awesome.
Ali, of course,
Oh, yes.
so however we can
Such
help
a
if ever.
prince.
Ah, yeah. And he's always like on all women teams too. It's so funny.
Yeah, he's a great supporter. He's a lovely
Yeah,
man.
he's the best. Hi, Ali. Okay, well, this is very exciting. So what about
Yeah.
what's the next thing happening? So this summer you have some meetings, Shambhala's happening again, but are you involved with the festival anymore? What do you
Well, this is interesting. Like I've taken a step back, but yeah, I might have a contract with Shambhala this year as well, which is kind of funny. Um,
That's awesome. Nice
full
one.
circle.
Nice flip.
I mean, I definitely want to do some performing at the festival. That's always, I just like to slip it in whenever I can. But
Mm. Prince
yeah, we're
Ali,
going to be
Ali
doing
saying,
customer
Prince Ali.
yeah. We're going to be analyzing the customer journey. So I'm going to put a team of women together. We're going to be doing some surveys and touching base with people and just analyzing. Now that the festival has grown so large, it has a certain reputation, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a danger with the festival in that stage of growth as well,
Mm.
you know, of becoming old or outdated or
Mm-hmm.
losing their heart. So yeah, so they want to bring me in to kind of run point on that one. So that's going to be fun.
That's cool.
That's my jam anyway. I love like being everywhere at once.
Yeah. And how does it feel to like dance on that stage? Like after so many years of like producing it and all like
Mhm.
so many experiences, how does it feel when you're like there, you know?
Well, I do sneak it in every year. Even when I was producing, I would take off
Okay,
the
good.
radio and I would just go for it. But to actually have the time and the attention to give to artists and talk about the creative process and, you know, how can we marry electronic and flamenco together, and
Hmm.
that's really empowering. And I think people, they really respected my role at the festival, but then they're like, oh
Good.
wow, and you can dance too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be wild to be there, like with your flamenco power plus the festival power plus the audience power.
Hmm.
Yes.
It's a
Just
thrill.
like
I
a
can't wait.
Corrine, like this vibe. And then the plane, and then the disco ball, and
I
now
know.
the, and then, whoa,
Something's up in the air.
okay. Wow, that's super exciting. Corrine, what did I miss? I feel like, we gotta like
Yeah.
do a little,
Well,
what else is
my
going on?
my flamenco journey. Maybe we could touch base on a little bit. I know we flew through
Please.
so much, but
I know, but like
when I
what even
was
started you dancing? Tell me.
yeah.
Yeah, how did you become the only flamenco dancer in Nelson? How did that happen? Hold on a second.
I actually took my first flamenco workshop here in Nelson when I was 17.
Oh, with who?
Uh, I, oh gosh, I think her name is Rosalie, and I can't. I'm not sure. It was just a workshop. I'm terrible with
Cool.
names and dates.
Don't even
Anyway,
worry about it.
but when I was little, we had an orchard, and we would have pickers come through, and we had this lovely family from Mexico. And one day she brought me a little doll that was a flamenco doll with the mantilla, the fan. And
Oh, that's so pretty.
I was like, I want to be that. I don't know what that is, but I want to be that. And I remember seeing dancers on TV, and I asked my mom, like, people get paid for that? And she's like, yeah, that's their job. And I'm like, I
Oh
want
my
that job.
God.
And I was super
Okay.
shy when I was young. So my mom put me in dance classes, and
Hmm.
she kept asking me, do you want to keep dancing? Because the teacher called me Corrine, and I was too shy to correct it and say my name's Corrine. So she's like,
Oh,
oh,
such a cutie.
but I loved it. And I always dreamed of flamenco, and I never really knew what it was. I wasn't exposed that much to it. And I found a
Wow.
workshop here in Nelson when my family first bought the farm.
Yeah.
And I took a workshop, and she was like, "Tu es flamenca," and I'm like, "See." And I've been trying to find
Wow.
flamenco ever since. So I ended up teaching in my 20s while doing Shambhala, while working for film. I was teaching and part of a flamenco company in Kelowna, and I brushed up on my skills and learned a lot more, but never
Hmm.
with live music.
Wow.
It was kind of a classically trained ballerina who had taken flamenco, so she
Hmm.
imparted all her knowledge, but I was still
Hmm.
really thirsty for more. And
Hmm.
then the festival got huge, blew up, took up
Hmm.
all my time, and I kind of dropped it for a while. But then I started taking online flamenco classes with Rena Oriana in LA. I'm actually off to a workshop in May, live workshop. I can't wait
Cool. That's
with her.
awesome.
So yeah, I kept on studying and taking workshops and everything. Just keep trying to wherever I can. It's really hard out here because yeah, I ended up here because my family's here, the festival's
Yeah.
here, and I just had to keep sharing my love and my passion and my joy. So that's why I'm trying to attract people.
We're coming.
Come,
Flamenco component is
come, or I'll go
coming.
to you.
We're gonna
So
come do
yeah,
a little
when I
flamenco
started the
mini
studio,
festival.
I took 2.5 years of a teacher training program for ballet with Catherine Buffy, who trains the dancers at the National Ballet in
Wow.
Toronto.
That's really
I retired
amazing.
in the Okanagan, and I soaked up her classes
Very
because I was like,
cool.
this is amazing. So I knew I wanted to do ballet, and I'm like, I got to start flamenco. And there had been a teacher here, and she was a good champion of mine too. She's a great champion. She's amazing. She really encouraged me to start teaching because she was going through some health issues. So there was already a little kernel of people, and then I've just tried to make it grow. There's a great community of Latino people here. We do salsa nights, and I try to rope them into flamenco.
You're like, that's nothing to do with it, but you're gonna love it.
Exactly.
Like, not a partner dance, it's a solo dance.
Exactly.
A totally different rhythm.
But
Yeah.
come.
But you'll see.
I do it at the festival too. I was like, okay, I know you like house music, but you might like
That's awesome.
a little flamenco tango. You never know.
I agree with you. Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Yeah.
I'm sure the people at the festival love it. There's no
Well,
doubt.
it's always so wild. Like I've always been entranced with this idea that nothing new has ever been thought of before. The only thing is to combine things that have been thought of before together into something you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
So this has kind of been a theme throughout my life, whether it's through Shambhala or art or, you know, just trying to really think outside the box and get those creative juices going. I mean, sky's the limit. There's no end of inspiration out there. Yeah.
Wow. What would you do if you could go back to like your 19-year-old self or something, and if there were no festival, no Shambhala, where do you think your life would have gone?
Gosh, I'm not even sure. You know, at that time I was really working in film. Film industry could have sucked me in, or I could have just kept on with that dancing career and have gone for it. You never know.
Insane.
I might have. I might still, you never know.
Guys, also, this is your chance to ask any questions if you want to, you know, if you have a burning question for Corrine, not Corinne, beware.
Yeah. Although I do respond to both. I've been trained wrong.
No, I hear you. I'm Tamara. Sometimes Tamara,
Right.
Tamara, Tamer, Tamer, all sorts of weird things. At first I got so upset. Now I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I don't care. I was like, as long as you get it close, whatever.
I
You'll
can't
get
be
it when
bothered. Yeah. I have too many things to do. Sure.
But I'm really excited you're coming to the West Coast too with the band, and we're gonna host you at Shambhala.
I know.
So excited.
We're gonna come to the pre-festival, right?
Yeah.
Before kind of. Oh, hey, Justin. Yeah. Justin is an amazing producer, bass player, master. Is that how you say it? I just gotta say, because I'm like, so like, I gotta brag for a second, and Justin just remastered all of Snoop Dogg's recordings. Like all of them, like from the 90s on tape.
Oh, wow.
For Dolby Atmos surround sound for like, for the newest. Yeah, Justin, this is Corrine, who's a flamenco dancer and produced Shambhala Festival for many, many years, and she's in Washington, D.C. And everyone go follow Corrine, see what she's up to. You can see her Instagram right here. And you know, she has a really cool video. So while she was in Hawaii, of course, you also danced, like, because like that's who you are. Can I come dance with you in Nelson, Leah?
Yes, anytime, Leah.
Nice. Leah's like getting on a plane
wonderfully
already.
Set up for you. Pardon?
Leah's like already on the plane, by the way.
I know. I was like, come on over. Things are opening up.
No, I heard. Yeah. So I can't remember what I was gonna say, but I lost it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come to Nelson, really, like, we have a nightclub here. There's a great theater.
One nightclub.
One nightclub. We have one nightclub. Well, there's other nightclubs, but my brother runs one. So I often take the space, and we've done a couple shows there, which is super intimate and cool. It's like kind of tableau style too. So yeah, if anybody wants to come or do workshops with me or, you know, anything, I love making art and culture grow. It's just thrilling, you know?
Careful, because we might all be at your doorstep.
Perfect. I need a bigger house.
We just started. Yeah. Nah, it's cool. We'll sleep on the floor. We just started another tableau here with Leah and Allison and Ali and another girl, Shirley. That we started a monthly tableau here to try and like pick up, you know, flamenco in the city. Acoustic. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when you come here, you'll have to come and dance in that tableau.
I totally will. I can't wait.
See, Allison, I knew it. I'm telling you, they're gonna be at your doorstep.
I know.
Allison.
And it's, you know, it's tough because I haven't had, in my experience, I haven't had the fortunate experience to work with live musicians and singers. I'm really excited about this workshop coming up because
Mm,
it's all about that. And a lot of what I've done has been, there's only so much you can do online. You can't kind of have that
yeah,
true flamenco feel of improv and kind of playing with the song and the music. And
totally.
so I need more of that in my life. So come
Yeah.
on over.
Okay. We're there.
Yeah,
And we'll be
and
there
I
in
do intend on
July.
coming to Toronto this year. I've
Please.
got some time, and school's going to be a 2.5 year sort of process. So I want to get some travel in before I go, or before I get locked down. But
So
it's
when are you gonna
virtual,
come?
this schooling, so I'm like, really, I could do it
Oh,
anywhere.
you can just do it from here and you get to wake up later.
Exactly.
Nothing starts till noon over here
There you
if
go.
you're on BC
Just
time.
do a little switch.
All right, just come hang out here with the flamencos, immerse yourself a bit in the musical side of it with guitarists and
Yeah.
singers. You know, I'm
Well, and I
sure
don't know
there's
if I
like a lot of
should
event consulting you can do in Toronto
totally. Yeah. Well,
for
and I'm
free.
not sure if I should mention it, but I still think our idea from last year is a very good one.
Mention away because as we mentioned, we'll manifest it.
There you go. That's what I'm thinking. Because we started a campground on the festival grounds, um, as in because we couldn't host a festival, so we wanted to make some income off the farm in a different way. And we're building a stage there. And Tamara and I had the idea, why don't we marry a flamenco weekend workshop retreat with electronic music and kind of that tone of Shambhala and customer experience. Yeah, and just really make a really amazing outdoor flamenco festival. That's
With
right.
electronic music
With electronic music
in
and
the mountains.
workshops in the mountains on the
Hey, Jess.
river.
Yeah, right? I'm so down. I'm so into it. So we'll
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
start
well,
talking about that and planning it. Should we say that we were gonna do sort of like a mini version last year, but life was
yeah.
crazy. But this
Hmm.
year, so at least we'll be on the land for a couple of days. And Jess just joined, and she's the violinist in Ventana, so she'll
Oh,
be there
fantastic.
also, on the farm. And I'm like,
We'll do
yeah,
some
so
dream weaving.
we can do
Hey?
some dream weaving for sure. All ideas welcome for those of you here.
Yeah,
And let's see if we can do like the small version next year. What do you think? Next
that'd be
summer?
great.
The
Yeah,
first iteration?
that'd be awesome.
You're all invited.
Yeah,
This is like
you are.
the VIP secret announcement. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, we
even
have some
joking.
great ideas. Like just a way to take a workshop and a festival and to take those two worlds and kind of again sandwich them together and make something completely different.
Exactly. So let's
Yeah.
do it.
And
Everyone get
oh so
ready.
Canadian really, you know? Like
Electronic Flamenco Festival.
we got lots of
Ah,
influences. Let's just put them all together.
all my dreams come true at once.
Yeah. Any questions? I don't know. People keep coming and
Yeah.
going. I know a couple people said hello. Um,
Oh, well, for
I
those of you who just joined this, we're talking to Corrine. You can go back and check out the interview
yeah.
at on our Instagram, Fab Club, or on, oh no, on ours. It'll save on ours, Fab Club's Instagram. And she's a flamenco dancer, of course, dear to my
Mhm.
heart. Who,
They.
yeah, and we met in the snow. I don't even want to post those pictures because actually, all those we filmed about 16 or 17 scenes across the country of
Yeah.
flamenco dancers in the snow in the pandemic, and we're putting them together into sort of like a mini docu-series. So I haven't released any of the photos yet, but they're
Mm.
so beautiful. Oh my goodness. And
It
Corrine
was,
in her blue dress on the water.
yeah. Yeah, I made that
So good.
bada. That was the craziest sewing project I've
Badass.
ever done. Like,
It's so badass. It's so wild.
I was in Seville and I was just like, I packed, I went to a shop. I was like, I know I'm buying can, which is the ruffle
Hmm,
fabric
hmm.
underneath. You can't, it's hard to find in North America. And I'm like, I'm making a bada. And then I made it and I started dancing with it. And I was like, I can't make it do anything.
It's wild. It's wild.
But eventually I took some classes online and everything. And it started to work for
It's
me.
so
But
beautiful on
I
you.
built the
Although
bada
you danced it
first.
on the snow, on the ice, and you totally
Yeah.
flipped, and then she just got back up and whipped out the fan. I was like, can't be more flamenco than that. So good. That's like a parroquito move. Oh my God.
Oh, that's fabulous that that project is getting off the ground too. I admire you so much. Like, you know,
Oh,
when it was
thanks,
like, oh, there's
Corrine.
this flamenco dancer or singer traveling across the country and wants to come say hi. It's just like, of
Oh.
course, let's
Well, I'm
do
so glad we
this.
did, and then we drove back with Misha. Yeah, so let that be the first of our adventures.
Oh yeah.
To many more, to Flamenco Electronic Festival, to anyone on this live that's watching this live, dropping by
Yeah,
Nelson and coming to say hi to Corrine.
totally. If
Don't
I'm in
forget,
the
she
country,
means it.
I do.
And beautiful Nelson, you can't go wrong.
No,
And
it's pretty
to
gorgeous.
Ventana's sort of coming pre-festival this year. I'm just cheersing everything that's good in life, you know. And
Yeah,
hanging out a
yeah.
bit with you on the land. I can't even wait. And of course, you're always welcome here in our flamenco
Sure.
community and our world music community here in Toronto and in our homes.
Thank you.
So please come. You and Anna, of course.
Yes,
Gotta
thank you
say,
so much.
yeah, you're a
Yeah, we're
beautiful
pretty fun when
sister.
we get together.
You guys
My
are
sister
wild.
really knows how to get me going. She's like,
I love her. I love her so much. I love you both. I really
thank you. We
do.
love you guys too. We're
I'm
so
so
glad that
lucky to
you're
meet
part of our
you.
tribe now, you
Oh,
know?
oh, thanks, Erin. Erin works at Fab
Oh,
Collab.
thank
Miss
you.
Corrine School of Dance. So
There
go
we
check it
go.
out, MissCorrineSchoolOfDance.com. What's ORD Press? Oh, the WordPress. I got it.
Yeah.
But Google Miss Corrine School of Dance, and also, of course, Shambhala. Check it out if you haven't. Your mind will be blown by the things that Corrine has done in her life. It's like insane, you
Right.
know? And you're just a great inspiration, really.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well,
Thank you.
yeah, it's so lovely connecting with you. And if anybody has any ideas for some wow moment we could do that's totally outside the box, I mean, I don't know if we'll have the hot air
Love it.
balloon, but you know.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes.
We need a big wow for everyone.
Yeah, drop ideas in the chat or just hit up Corrine with some
There you
wild,
go.
crazy, crazy ideas. And hit us up too for Toronto ideas.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I still want to do something like Electronic Festival. I'm like, what quick crazy idea can I throw out there? I'm like, my mind still goes there.
I know it's not really traditional, and I've had I struggle with that sometimes because, you know, my heritage isn't Spanish or,
I
you know,
know.
but then I'm Canadian and I'm not really anything at all. So I'm like, okay, so then I'm everything.
Right.
I might as well
I have the
just,
same struggles, believe me.
yeah, if we can marry the arts together and create something totally different. So not to dishonor the past, but also not to write off the future and what it could be. And I love that so much about flamenco too, is that it's always evolving and changing, and you know, the foundation is so important. But you know, there's some people
I
doing
guess
crazy stuff out there.
I have one last question before we go that you just made
Sure.
me think of, which is, you know, how, or do you guys ever think about, and if so, how, like, what do you, anyways, I'll just ask the question instead of this like long preamble. Oh, I want the honey from your dad's farm.
It's
Misha
really
stole it.
good.
Misha took it home with her, our honey.
I bet.
We're like, hey, yeah. So what about like the fact that you're basically on, you know, ancient traditional indigenous land? Like, you ever talk to elders from the area or bring them on the land or consult with them?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, there's opening ceremonies with elders on a couple of the different stages, and we've had some amazing artists, a Tribe Called Red, and just, you know, they're just amazing. Yeah, First Nations experiences. We had some hoop dancers out to the farm as well, but yeah, and it's interesting because the location of the farm, the First Nations would move up and down the valley into the states following the Salmo River, and they would gather and they gather in between sometimes and have these huge events. And I'm like, our farm is like flat 200 acres. There's not really a lot of land for lots of people to gather. So in my mind, it's actually been a place for celebration for probably hundreds of years.
It would be really interesting to find some oral tradition, like,
it would,
about that.
Let's
think about that.
That's a good idea,
and have somebody
actually.
come and tell that story if it exists and if it's being passed down through the generations.
Because it's just my assumption. I just feel like, how could that have not happened?
Right.
It's such a beautiful place and such a special feel on the family farm. So yeah.
Hmm.
Well, anyway.
All right, I'm just gonna put that out. Food for thought.
Yeah, good
Maybe we'll come back to
questions.
that.
Exactly.
Wow. Oh. Well, thanks, Corrine. Hi, Ada. Hi,
Yeah.
everyone. Thanks for joining.
Yeah,
This
this
was
has been
great
super
fun.
fun. We covered a lot
Yeah.
fast.
Well, just the touch points, just the beginning, like
Yeah,
the tip of the
yeah,
iceberg. So do feel
exactly.
free to hit Corrine up, follow all her projects, and I can't wait to see where you go with your new events
Wow.
consulting company. I'm like very excited and stoked,
You'll
and I
be
feel
in the
like
loop.
the world is going to change with you at the helm of that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so dear to me.
And we'll you too. And we'll see you here or there or both or
Both,
somewhere in
both.
between.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, Corrine. I say give my love to Anna and your parents
Will do. And
and
thank you
your
for doing this. I
nephew.
really enjoy seeing all of the artists you bring here. And,
Oh,
just you've done wonders for the flamenco community here in Canada. Like,
wow.
I'm really
Thanks.
proud of you. Yeah, go
Thanks,
girl. Keep
Corrine.
doing it. Every time I see your stuff, I'm like, oh, there she goes again. Good
Uh,
girl.
thanks. The feeling is mutual. Thanks, Corrine.
Oh,
Means a lot. Thank you so much. And for those
you're
of you
welcome.
watching, we'll be back next week. Leah's hosting, and we're here every Thursday at 12 p.m., usually by default, unless something weird happens. But we're here every Thursday with a different woman in the performing arts industry, on or off stage, or both, like Corrine. And yeah, come back and check everyone out because there's some incredible people in the arts. So, the list is like never ending. We're so lucky and privileged to talk to
Amazing.
everyone. It's been going for a year and a half now, nonstop. So it's
Good
pretty
job.
wild. Let's go forever. Yeah, Leah's like, we should do current call forever.
Awesome.
And all my love to you, Corrine, like Ali's
Mwah.
saying. And to
Much love to
everyone,
you.
have a beautiful day.
Take care.
We'll talk
Thank you so
soon.
much. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.